but price. And therefore, if someone quotes a lower than what I would expect, existing vendor, someone quotes much lower than what the existing vendor is expecting, the buyer was in a soup. Buyer always wanted to go a preferred vendor, but now he has got a lower price. And so buyer was tempted to negotiate. And this is something which causes distrust among the others. So these are some of the initial period of time when people didn't know. They wanted to go whole hog in one go.
Do you agree, Mr. Miyajiwala? And did you have a problem convincing your company?
One is when you start something new, there is always fear of the unknown. So there is, you need a lot of convincing for buyers to get onto this platform. But initial success, it builds on the success itself. The second thing is, I think buyers also have a hesitation in going on this platform because they perceive a loss of power, and that needs to be addressed. Also, when you discover new suppliers or new vendors, where you have a relationship with an existing vendor, even in difficult times, they can come to your help. Or if the market becomes very difficult, for example, when suddenly the commodity prices shoot up, and they have quoted on the basis of low commodity prices, there could be some failure of suppliers. So I think due diligence of the suppliers who are coming on the platform is also extremely important. So there are risks associated, but I think the gains of this mode of commerce far outweigh the disadvantages and risks.
Is it a cultural phenomenon also, Mr. Subramaniam? Because, to a large extent, I think in India, people like to have that personal contact. Relationships are very important. So do you feel perhaps it's also a cultural phenomenon, this aversion to getting online and doing business there?
You're right to a large extent, but I think I should thank the Great Depression we had. And what happened only in the year 2008-09, people started thinking about price efficiencies. Until then, everybody was thinking that they are doing the best of things in negotiations or in procurement. But then this uncertainty in business drove fears in the minds of many people. And this proved to be an advantage for service providers like us. So what happened, everybody started adopting electronic auctions as a negotiation tool, more so because it's best price determination based on the demand supply in the market. So if somebody wants to bid for Voltas' business,
right,
he has to really work at his numbers so that he backs the deal. So that is the driver. Okay. So today vendors are also proactively working on this so that their market share goes up and the buyers are benefiting. You would be surprised that in logistics, in contracts, services, procurement also, this is now huge, and people are getting wonderful price reductions.
Okay.
And that has been the.
And you've worked with so many different companies as well. Tell us of a transformational story.
Well, I can tell you that. I don't want to take names because we have one of my clients wanted to have a trial for buying bandwidth, and bandwidth, there are 5 major service providers. So the numbers started crumbling from somewhere around 49 lakhs to about 7 lakhs.
Right.
And just 6 months prior to that, they had paid about 58 lakhs for the same bandwidth from one of these major service providers. The idea was that time they had not ventured into an electronic auction. But then when they did it, and it was made a policy that they would, if they only buy through reverse auctions, negotiations would be done only through reverse auctions. So initially there was some resistance, but later when we trained them, the service providers also were happy because there's a lot of transparency. They could see what the competitors were bidding. So that was the driver.
Okay.
That's how the numbers started crumbling. Okay. And the quality of service is good, and the client is very happy.
So would you say then, Mr. Bahadur, that 08-09 period was instrumental, was very significant in terms of growth for e-commerce?
It gave a boost because everybody was looking for price. But the great asset of e-commerce is speed and transparency. Because there will always be a pressure for reducing the price, whether it was 08, 09 or next year. I cannot say that next year there will be no pressure. But it's the transparency and speed of decision making which goes a long way, and that is going to be the key factor in its success. Okay,
let's take another very quick break. We'll return and continue our conversation here. We also spoke to Mr. Khairat, the Deputy General Manager at MSRTC, and he spoke also on his experiences. He also spoke in particular about the e-tender system and really what this also encompasses.
We have started e-tender system from 8th October 2009 until time 83 tenders have been finalized on the basis of e-tender system. It is working very finely, smoothly. We have also curtailed the time schedule for finalizing the rate contract. As MSRTC is purchasing near about 7,010 crores material of various groups, and we required major time for finalizing open tender system, and e-tender is very smooth and time is required very short. That's why it is very good, and in future also, and corporation have kept this process in use for a one period. Recently we have finalized source for 1 year, and as far as observing the performance, it will be continued further 5 years and further periods.
Welcome back. You're with us here on Evolving E-Commerce, and now we're going to be talking a lot more about also the way forward, the future, how it's looking to you, and so forth. So, you know, like any competitive field, there are always certain elements that are crucial in terms of staying ahead. And I think one of the things in e-commerce is probably also value-added services. They play a really critical part. So just run us through those, Mr. Subramaniam, you know, what part they play, and also what are some of the other key things that the industry needs to emphasize on in that bid to stay ahead.
See, essentially, security is a very important aspect. You know, whenever somebody transacts online, he's always worried whether his submission of bid, is it, integrity is maintained, can somebody break it? So today we have very good technological advances that we have this 256-bit encryption, which is the latest, and it has been commercialized, VeriSign has introduced, and we have introduced in our scheme of things. So this brings in a lot of trust. And the second thing is that now as a company, we are ISO 27001 certified, which is on online information security management system. Okay. See, many of you are transacting money through ATMs.
Right.
I don't think any of them are certified, but we are certified. So this is a trust we build in our system, so that our, the clients as well as their buyers and sellers, they are able to, at least relax that everything is safe. Nothing can possibly be impregnated. No changes can happen. So this is the sort of thing. Like in the MSRTC case, we use an electronic tender box. Everything is encrypted. So nothing is known till the tenders are open, and it's opened by them. Okay. Initially, they had a lot of fears. So we have trained them to do it themselves. We only give the back-end support, monitor them, guide them, and mentor them to a long way so that their skills are good and they perform well. So these things bring in more value. It's more of a long-term relationship with a client rather than a one-off engagement. We always believe in that. And this is the success of our story till date.
And finally, Dr. Bahadur, what according to you is the next stage in the evolution of e-commerce?
See, the adaptation to new technology, in my opinion, has not been a problem with India. In fact, we, in spite of our traditional approach to business, in all aspects of life, India has done exceedingly well in accepting any change brought about by technology. And so it is with this. We in our, at SP Jain Institute of Management and Research, as a matter of our coursework and course content, we invite specialists like Mr. Subramaniam, or we people who are practitioners, and we involve them in development of coursework, case studies, simulation studies. And when these boys, they go out into the field, I think they are going to bring about the change much faster than what we expect. Okay. This is what I think is the way forward.
Generation. So, thank you so much for joining us. Gentlemen, pleasure having you with us, and we look forward to more good news coming from e-commerce industry. We leave it there for now. Thanks so much for watching.